affected the run game too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it did, but I mean, we can't use that as an excuse. I mean, we have to, you know, next guy up mentality. We can't get into the deal where one guy's down and we sit there and pout. You know, next guy up, play.
Can one guy make that big of a difference, though? Because the way you described it, those are the type of holes Sean Alston has a better opportunity to get through, perhaps.
You know, I mean, I think those guys are young, and so, I mean, I think the more opportunities we give those guys, I think the better they're going to be at it. I mean, Sean's obviously had a lot of those opportunities, and we are, you know, part of it's probably we're comfortable with watching him just break tackles and do this. So, I mean, there might be a comfort level in there, but I mean, you know, me personally, I think that the other ones we have are just as capable. We just have to continue doing it.
You've spent a year in the Big East, and obviously now with the Big 12. Can you put into perspective what we're all going to see and the fans are going to see in terms of the difference?
You know, I mean, offensively it'll be different. I mean, they'll be a lot like us, up tempo, and I mean they're not going to sit there and milk the clock. I don't know if anybody in the Big 12 will, but that's probably the biggest difference is just the tempo of the game and the attacking nature of offenses. Will be a little different. I mean, you know, Maryland's scheme, you know, is really to keep us off the field, you know, and try to make some plays in the end and win, which, I mean, I thought they executed well for what they wanted to do. And so, you know, that's probably not going to be the case anymore. They're probably not going to care what we do offensively. They're just going to run their stuff.
Is there a different defensive philosophy? I know it's tough to generalize, but it seems like everybody wants turnovers, but it seems like there's a huge emphasis placed on that in this conference.
You add a possession. That's the biggest part of a turnover. You steal a possession from the other team, and so when you can do that, I think it's huge. And so, but I mean, schemes and stuff defensively, I mean, I wouldn't know. I mean, I would guess that the objective of our defense is to stop the other team's offense.
How do you think you guys handled the blitz? And you talked a little bit about speeding things up with the receivers. You know, Gino, how do you think you guys handled that?
How do you think we handled it? I thought at times we handled it well, and I thought at times we didn't. You know, I mean, I think, you know, the more we see that, the better we'll get at it. You know, I think, you know, teams, you know, have different schemes, obviously, against us. It's the first time we've seen, you know, that much pressure. And so, you know, I mean, they got to us at times, and they got to us early, which probably had a lot to do with us settling down. The problem, too, is when, you know, in the nature of what they were doing offensively, you know, we get, you know, you want to get back out on the field and get going. Well, heck, you got to wait 15 minutes before you get another opportunity. It's tough. And so we just got to be mentally tougher than that.
How does Baylor's defense kind of compare to the three that you guys have seen so far?
I don't think it compares as far as what you're looking at. I mean, they're probably, you know, Maryland's probably bigger than them. You know, I mean, I think Baylor runs around well. They're quick. Their corners are fast. Their linebackers are fast. Their two ends are, you know, rush the passer pretty good. So, you know, I thought Maryland was big and fast. You know, so I mean, I think Baylor's probably not as big, but probably close to as fast.
You guys are going to play all teams now that nobody has seen at Tavon Austin, and understandably you guys haven't seen, you know, them. But, you know, seeing somebody on film and for these guys to see Tavon maybe in the first quarter for the first time, can he use that to his advantage in a way that his speed may be faster than they're expecting from what they've seen on film?
I surely hope so, but I mean, I don't think Tavon's going to be a surprise to anybody, you know, with TV and things these days. I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard his name. You know, I think that the speed of the game is something that every game you go into, you talk about overcoming the speed of the game, because as much as you practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, getting the speed of the game is obviously something that you're not going to simulate at practice. And so to think that their defensive guys are going to go against an offensive scout team that's going to simulate Tavon's speed is probably just as inaccurate as me saying that our defensive scout team is going to simulate Baylor's speed. And so we hope we can overcome the speed of the game when we get started, and and then we hope that they can overcome it.
Going back to the turnover.
I heard something that's like the even, blue, and the odd and good. That should be cool. I've never seen that before.
If it works.
It should be a nice little. I hope it works out.
Yeah.
I know Coach Holgerson talked a little bit about personnel substitutions. They like to switch guys in. Is that something you guys are paying close attention to this week?
I mean, that's just all part of the game plan. Like, we just see different things they do, different ways they go about doing stuff. So it's like we're really just trying to game plan the right way for them, not just trying to see what they do and don't do.
How much can you maybe cause problems with the way you play up close to the line of scrimmage at times and in coverage at times? I mean, is this the kind of game where you can really make your impact a little more felt?
I mean, I feel like I can make an impact on the game. It's different. Like, even going through it's different. Look, we gotta see our whole defense really. So it's like we're gonna try to just really rush it, just make it difficult. We try to do all the time.
Thank you, Terence.